season that you had, obviously you haven't going through the mechanics early in the season, and then riding the ship later in the season. I guess I'm curious for you as you went through this off season and kind of looked back and prepared for this year. What did you take away from the struggles that you had last year and trying to, keep that momentum going into the season?
I mean, well, I think at the end of every season, you wanna go back and assess and see how you did, starting and finishing, and how you can improve. Let it be mechanic wise, strength wise, mentally. There are certain things that and when you have the time in the off season, you want to tackle those and try to take care of those before we enter spring training and a new season. And one of the things that I can take away from how last year went, and it definitely didn't start off like any of us wanted it to. And I definitely had to put in some work physically and mentally to get back where I needed to be, and was able to do that. And so going into this offseason, it wasn't, oh, I need to do this better. I need to get stronger. I need to get faster. I need to work on a new pitch. It really was, okay, what did I do last year to get back to being successful? And how do I stay there? And so one of my main focuses this winter was just trying to stay mechanically where I was, I think, towards the end of last year. And my last my handful of my last appearances was staying there. And I know if I can physically get to where I need to be, everything else come together. And I felt like I'm ready to go. I felt like it was a good off season. Threw a good bullpen today, and we're heading in the right direction.
Craig, as far as pitching in setup role and closer role, we saw how dominant you were in the second half last year. Does it really matter, or is there a mentality that you have to regain to go back and take that closer's role?
No, I mean, it was different last year, pitching in different innings. It was something I had to learn, something I hadn't done in a long time. But obviously I pitched myself into that situation. And we had a guy who stepped in and did the job. And so I was forced to pitch in different situations and help the team out in a different way. Coming into this year is, my thoughts are, like I just said, be where I was towards the end of last year, or if not, try to be better, and go out there and do my job. I've stood on the mound and closed out a lot of games, so I don't think the mental aspect of going out there and doing it's going to be any different.
Hey, just a quick follow-up to that. I mean, you had such an incredible September. I don't think you walked a guy or gave up a run. As that September rolled on for you, was it weird at all, or was it frustrating at all that you weren't just sort of named the closer again for the rest of the way and into the playoff?
No, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, last year I pitched myself into the situation that I was in, and did my best to pitch myself back. But like I said, we had a guy doing the job. So in taking him out of that role and putting him somewhere else, would it have been the best thing for our team? We don't know. I doubt it. I think the situation that I rolled into as I started to figure it out last year was, how can I help the team in any way? And if it was throw the seventh inning that day, the eighth inning, or the ninth inning, that's what I was doing.
Hey, Craig, what about being potentially in the last year of your deal? I know there's an option, and there's a lot of guys in the same position, could be free agents. I know it's way early, but does it cross a player's mind about July and what could happen to me this season, even now, or even, in the months leading up to this year, your final year potential?
I think there are times where I think anyone is going to think about things like that. I think most of the time it's kind of in the off season when you're either preparing or talking about contracts with a ball club or your agent, just kind of talking through those things. But honestly, when it comes to showing up to the field and getting ready to play, this game is hard enough as is. So I think what I've seen in the past are guys who can just successfully think about what they have to do on the field and know in the future. If you take care of what needs to be taken care of on the field, everything else fall into place. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel as well.
Craig,
Hey, Craig.
go ahead, Andy.
Thank you. Given the last two springs, how nice is it knowing you kind of have a full spring training, hopefully on the horizon?
Yeah, I hope so. Like you said, it's going to come in every day to prepare for opening day, and hope we make it there and get things going. And we play 162 games, and but yeah, I'm just preparing for a season.
Do you think that mentally, does that help a lot, just to know that, okay, after 2 years of really disjointed years for you, especially, does mentally just help you, like, okay, this is at least some sort of normalcy coming back?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I think it might be odd that it might be normal now after the last 2 years. So no, I'm showing up, getting prepared for the season, and get ready to win some ball games.
I know you've had your hands full, just getting back to being the guy that you wanted to be over the last 2 years. But as far as being a mentor to other people, or just being a good teammate and being there for them, is it easier to do that when you're performing up to your own level, or is there a consistency you have to be meeting as a teammate all the time, regardless how it's working for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be me if I'm, throwing, striking 3 guys out every time, or if I'm giving up 3 runs every time. I'm not going to let my on-field performance hinder the relationships around me, because over the years I've learned that I can teach more, or I can get more out of the guys around me by doing that. Just because I've had a successful past doesn't mean that I should expect or work any less, or expect certain things to happen just because of that. And I think with last year, hopefully I showed some guys that it doesn't matter, like I said, what you've done or what situation you're in. Anything can happen. Everyone can go through hiccups, but with hard work and paying attention and the relationships around you, you can get through it. And I think that's kind of a lot of what I got out of last year, was understanding that I can make a difference even if I'm not the best I can be on the field. I can still make a difference to the guys around me, working through certain things.
Craig, you've been referred to as like a Hall of Fame caliber closer. Is that a goal of yours? Does that ever cross your mind, something that you're striving to accomplish, getting to the Hall of Fame?
No, it's not. It's not something that I'm not suiting up saying I'm going to go out there and do this for hopefully to have an individual award one day. I put my cleats on and my jersey on and go out there to win ball games with the guys around me. And that's really the only thing I can do, the only way I've ever known to play the game. I've never played the game to win an individual award or anything like that. I just love to compete and to do it with guys that have the same passion that I do around me. And that's really it.
Craig, last year, the guys were talking about you, just the incredible month you had to end the season. When you're starting camp and all of us have played, we've all had those swings, right? Those ups and downs. So going into camp this year, what are some of the triggers or things you're doing in your pens to keep yourself mechanically sound? As a hitter, you speak Chinese when you start talking about pitching, but as a hitter, we would do that every spring. You'd start out with something, from head discipline, and go through your body and make sure that you're progressing the right way. What was it for you, or what is it for you this spring that you're trying to accomplish to keep you right?
What's nice with the technology nowadays is not everything is all feel. A lot of times in the past, it's okay, we need to find the feel, and then once we find feel, everything else will come. Well, now we have the technology that tell us, oh, well, that pitch did what you wanted it to do, even though it might not have felt well. That's where you need to be. And because our bodies can trick us over time. So,
Yep.
we can, our arm can drop a little bit and it might feel great, but the hitter can see it better. You're not spinning it as well. So me, it's really just paying attention to where my arm placement is and how the ball is coming out of my hand. And that's what I focused on last year. That kind of helped me turn everything around. And it's what I've been focusing on all winter, was just making sure my body and my hand placement's where it needs to be. And then once we get into games and adrenaline starts, it'll be where it needs to be. And that's about it.
Hey, Craig, even for someone who's had as much success as you have, when you did go through a little rocky point over the last couple of years, and then you finished strong last year, is there a nice confidence that you take into, a clean slate spring training here this year? How does that impact you, even though you've had a lot of success in the past?
I'm still showing up knowing there's certain aspects of this game and certain things that I have to prepare for and get ready for, just like any year. It is nice to have finished really well last year, but this is a whole new year. I have new things that I might have to do, and the goal is still the same. Do I want to go out there and throw 5 or 6 appearances without putting up a 0? Absolutely not. Hopefully if that happens, hopefully it's in spring training. And so in the sense of having spring training and 6 weeks to do that, that's very nice, but I still have to prepare for a new year. Everything I've done in my past and what I was able to do towards the end of last year is nice. I think it makes everyone feel comfortable, but at the same time, I still got to get ready to go out and do my job and do it at the best that I can.
Hey, Craig, how do you look at the bullpen as a whole with the addition of Brandon Workman and the mix of guys between returners and some non-roster guys that'll be in camp?
We have a lot of guys with a lot of talent and a lot of different looks. I think there's not too many guys who all throw the same way down in the bullpen. I think that's by design, and we got a lot of guys who spin the ball really well. All in all, I think we have more guys who are gonna contribute to the team than are gonna be on the team all at the same time. But I think we have a strong group of guys that could be very successful. It's just going out there and doing it, and it's the only way that good bullpens are built or talked about. You can talk about, like I just said, what guys have done in the past and what is expected in the future. But I think we got a group of guys that we'll be able to go out there, and by the end of the year, we'll be talked about as a group of guys that are good and expected and have got the job done more times than not, and that's the goal.
We have anything else for Craig?
Good luck. Good luck this spring, buddy.
Thank
I
you.
wish we could all be there. Yeah.
It's nice and cold out here. I think it's 58 today, 60.
It was 80 in Clearwater here yesterday, but it's rainy today. But good luck, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.